Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. And in today's video we have this 2022 Mazda 3 and we're going to do the tail light tint installation for this vehicle. So as you can see, this is how it looks before doing the installation on the tail lights, and this is how it looks after the installation. So the tint has PPF properties, which means it will protect the lenses from yellowing over time, as well as protect it from any small scratches or any road debris that may hit the lens. If you like the product, link for the product will be in the description below. But with that being said, let's get started with the installation video. So the tools you need in order to install the tint kit will be slip solution, tack solution, a heat gun, squeegee, and a microfiber towel. And a step-by-step guide in order to create the two solutions will be in the description below. So before starting with the installation, we need to make sure we prep the tail lights. So to prep them, all you need to do is just apply slip solution onto the lens. And with the clean microfiber towel, just start going all around the lens and making sure you're removing any contaminants that the tail light may have. So we're going to start by installing the pieces on this section of the tail light first. So we're going to start off by installing the piece that goes on the side panel here. So when you have your tint kit, this would be for the driver's side. So the piece that would go here would be for this lower section here. So to install this one, just apply slip solution onto the lens and slip solution to the tint film. And it's just more of just placing the film and making sure everything's aligned. So just place it and everything should be aligned here. Follow it here. And that's pretty much it. You will grab your tack solution to tack the film down. So just apply it underneath and on top of the film. Make sure it's still aligned. Grab your squeegee and start tacking the film down. Okay, and just make sure before we finish off, just make sure there's no solution behind the film. And if there is, make sure to remove them. And then the last thing you would do is just seal the edges. So if you have any small fingers coming across the tint, so let's say here or anywhere else on the film, just apply tack solution and a little bit of heat and you should be able to tack down the fingers. So tack solution, add heat and squeegee them down with your squeegee. And just clean off the film just to make sure everything's tacked down. Okay, and now that we finished with this one, we can move on with the next piece. Okay, so now we're moving on to this installation here. And with this one, the tint film will cover all this section here and go underneath and wrap around to the top piece here. So for that piece, it would be this bigger section here. So it's this one and it goes wrapped around. So once you have your film, apply slip solution onto the lens and slip solution onto the tint film. And start by aligning it on this edge first. So let's just help it place it. It should be like this. So align it right on top, align the top edges first. That way it covers this section of the tail light. And then we're going to little by little work our way on installing the rest of the film. So just apply tack solution, grab your squeegee, hold it in place and just start tacking this section down. And once we have this section secured, we could start moving on with the next step, which would be this curve here. This one we'll come back to afterwards. Right now we just need to focus on installing this section of the tail light here. So just make sure you align it to the bottom section of the tail light, wrap it around underneath. So it should be like this. And then just to tack it down and seal it, apply tack solution. And then with our squeegee, we're going to start tacking down section by section. And this is just so we could secure it in position and it doesn't lift over time. And then a small piece of the film is going to go tucked in underneath the tail light here. And any small fingers that we may have, we're just going to apply tack solution, tack them down slowly, but if they're still popping up, then that's when we add heat. Okay, and just to help this remaining section tack down to the small curve, all you need to do is just apply tack solution underneath the film. And you could use your finger to help it tack down to the curve or your squeegee. Just make sure you're removing all the solution underneath the film. And then just apply a little bit of heat to seal this edge and then you should be good. Okay, and now we can move on with the next piece, which is for this section here. So for this section here, it's going to be the next two remaining ones. So it's going to be for this piece here that will go here. This middle piece will be for the middle section. And then this last piece is to cover this small section of the tail light that's separated from this one. So it's this section here. So it's just these 3 remaining pieces would go here. And then the top piece here would be for this one. But we're going to focus with the center piece first, which is this one. So to install the outer piece here on the center, just apply slip solution on the lens and on the film. And this one is just making sure we tack it down to the edge, and it should sit perfectly like this. And all we need to do now is just help it tack down. So to help it tack down, apply tack solution. And you could use your finger to tack the whole film down slowly, but you could also use your squeegee as well. So tack it down. If you need to lift and adjust it, you can, just be careful. And it should be just like that. And the film is going to overlap to the bottom section piece that we installed here. So make sure it's still overlapping in the line, and it should cover like this. And now just to seal it, apply tack solution and a little bit of heat, and then just with your finger, help it tack down. And then you can use your microfiber towel just to help absorb any solution that's still trapped behind the film. Okay, now we can move on to the centerpiece for this one. So for the centerpiece, apply slip solution right on the center and slip solution onto the film. And all you need to do is just align it to the top and just tack it down. You're just going to need a little bit of tack solution just to help it tack down around the edges here. So apply it and tack it down little by little around the edges. And if you still have small fingers, just add tack solution again, and this time with heat around the fingers, and then help them tack down, and they should be gone. Okay, and that's pretty much it. And now we move on to installing this small piece, and then after we're done with this piece, we can move on to this piece. So for this last piece, you could try installing it without applying any solution. If you do, just align it right on the top section of the tail light here, and make sure it's aligned to the edge. Cover it like this, and then just help it tack down little by little. And it's just like that. And if we do need to apply any solution, it'll probably be tack solution. So let's say you want to tack it down more to secure it, just apply tack solution, and with your squeegee just tack down whatever it is that needs to be still tacked down. So let's say you want to secure it right here in this corner, we'll apply tack solution and just tack it down, and so forth. But it's pretty much simple. If you do have fingers, just apply a little bit of heat, add tack solution, and you can use your finger to help it tack down, or you can use your squeegee. And that's pretty much it. Now we can move on to this piece here. So when it comes to installing this piece here, all you need to do is just apply slip solution onto the lens and slip solution to your tint film. And with this one, you need to align it right on the edge here first. So this edge here, align it right there. If you notice it right here, it's not going to fit perfectly if we just lay it like this. So what we need to do with this one is anchor this piece first and anchor all of this section here. That way, once we anchor all of this and it doesn't move, we could stretch the film and maneuver it tack down to this curve here. So we need to make sure this whole section here is tacked down, and to ensure that it's tacked down, apply tack solution underneath the film and on top, and we're just going to hold it in place and start tacking down the film with our squeegee. So we need to ensure that this piece is secured first, and if you need to apply heat in order to help the adhesive activate faster, you can, but our main focus is making sure this piece is secured and it doesn't move. So to help it speed up, let's apply a little bit of heat and then we'll tack it down again. So now that we tack it down, if you can see, I'm putting pressure onto the film, but it's not moving, so that's a good thing. So now that we have all this section tacked down, now we can work with the remainder piece here. So just apply slip solution to the film and to the lens, and we're stretching it and helping it tack down at the same time. So make sure it's aligned here, and we stretch it up to the edge here. So it should cover up to there. So as you can see now, since we helped the film align, it's covering and it formed all over the tail light here. So now all we have to do now is hold it in place, apply tack solution, and start tacking it down to secure it. Okay, and then just to help with the process for the adhesive to heal faster, we're going to do the same thing, apply tack solution and heat, and then we squeegee, and that should help us secure the film more faster. then just clean it off just to ensure we didn't leave any water bubbles behind the film. And after that, we're done and we could start with the next piece, which is this section of the tail light here. Okay, so now we're moving on to this section of the tail light. At first, we're gonna start by installing the piece that goes covering this section here. So it's gonna go from here and ends here. And then once we finish this piece, we'll install the other half piece, which is for this section here. For this piece here, when you look at it, you're gonna right away know what piece it's going to go where. So this piece here is going to be for this section here. So the same steps that we did for the other side, it's basically rinse and repeat for this side. Apply the slip solution on the lens and the slip solution onto your tint film, and just align it right on the corner. Make sure it's covering the lens and make sure everything is aligned underneath here. So it's just like that. Everything's aligned, good to go. Now all we need to do is secure the film. So lift it and apply tack solution underneath and on top of the film. Hold it in place and start tacking it down. And then for this middle section here, all we need to do is just help the film tack down to this small curve. So make sure you remove any solution that's behind the film. So you can see right here, there's a small curve, and then just tack down the rest. And it should be like this. Just clean it off. If you need to apply heat, you can, just to help it tack down. But it should tack down pretty simple, pretty easy, since it's not too deep of a curve. It should just sit perfectly fine. So make sure it's flat. Once you see it's flat and the film's not lifting, then we could start with the next piece, which is this section here. Okay, so for this piece here, you could either try installing it without applying any solution, or you could apply it with solution. It doesn't really matter, just whatever makes it easier for you to install. Let's say you don't apply any solution. What you would do is align it on the edge here first, and then slowly make your way on installing it on the rest of the film. So lift and apply it carefully. It should reach it to this end, and then slowly, carefully tack it down. So you see, it fits perfectly and it's matching here. If you still need to adjust it to align it, you can, but it's pretty simple. Just make sure the film isn't lifting. If it is, then just apply tack solution and heat, but if it's not, you should be good to go. So let's say it is lifting. Here's an example. Just apply tack solution, a little bit of heat around the area that's lifting, and then use your microfiber towel to tack it down. And the film's good, it's sitting perfectly, and now you could just, once you finish with this piece, you can move on with the circle. Okay, so with this piece, it's almost the same thing as we did with this section here, but with this one, you could apply tack solution right away, so that way the film starts sticking to the panel. So I'm applying tack solution on both the film and the lens, and this is just so the adhesive activates faster, and I don't need to worry about removing too much solution from the film. So align it from one end and just work your way to the other side. And this should cover this section of the lens here. And if you need to adjust it, just lift it carefully and readjust the film. It should be like this. Pretty simple. And afterwards, once we finish installing everything, we would apply tack solution and heat just to help it tack down faster. But right here, it's not lifting. If you can see, I'm running my finger and the film isn't lifting. So now we could just install the middle piece here. So for the middle piece, same thing. Apply tack solution to the film and to the lens, and just make sure you align it right on the top and work your way in installing the rest of the film. So if you need to adjust it, just lift it carefully. And just like that, it's covering the whole piece here. Just make sure if there is small fingers to remove them. You could remove them by applying tack solution and a little bit of heat. But other than that, it should be simple. Use your microfiber towel just to wipe it off and check if everything's good, tacking down. If it is, then you should be good to go. And you can just move on to installing the last piece, which is this piece here. So for this last piece, pretty simple. Just apply slip solution on the lens, the slip solution onto your tint film, align it from one edge, which would be this side here. And now we're just going to make sure once we align it, we tack down this piece. That way we're able to stretch and align the film to reach to this edge. So lift it carefully and apply tack solution underneath and on top of the film. Grab your squeegee, hold it in place with one hand, and with the other one start tacking down the film. And this is just so we can secure this piece. That way we can stretch the film to this edge. And if you feel that you need to readjust it, you can. So it should be like this. And now apply slip solution here, and then we'll stretch the film to reach to this edge. Make sure this area is dry. That way you have better grip. Place it back down and stretch the film. And it should be like that. Now hold it in place, apply tack solution, and tack it down. And then this piece will go underneath here, and everything else should cover here. Make sure to remove any solution behind the film, and then once you're done removing everything, we can move on to the last step, which is post-heating the whole entire film. Okay, so once you finish installing the whole piece onto the towel light, the last thing to do is post-heat the whole entire film. That way we help the adhesive on the film activate faster and the film doesn't lift over time. So to post-heat, you will need to apply Tide solution all around the film. We're going to use our heat gun and microfiber towel to start post-heating the whole entire kit. Okay, so that concludes the installation video for the tail light tints for the 2022 Mazda 3. We hope that this video helped you guys out with the installation. If it did, don't forget to drop a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe and turn on that notification bell, that way you don't miss any upcoming installation videos. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.